Hello, 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 everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I am going to be your host for this evening where, yes, we're going to talk about how you can still get grant money for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. So as you come in, say hello to me. Let me know where you're coming in from. Give that city and that state a shout out. I am in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio, where we are getting ready to get into a pretty deep heat wave here. Oh, in like the high 90s. Hello, Pamela from Georgia. Oh, I think you guys are always, always, always hot, right? How far are you from Atlanta? And Demetria is coming in from Georgia. Look at Georgia showing up today. And Webster is coming in from Missouri. Oh, you're about an hour from Atlanta. Not too far, not too far. I was just in Atlanta, what, last week? Well, no, 2 weeks ago I was in Atlanta. Freya is in Atlanta. Look at Atlanta coming in strong tonight. And Bernadette from Portsmouth, Virginia, and Demetria from Columbus, Georgia. Wow. Okay, okay, okay. We've got Georgia up in the house tonight. And Rochelle is coming in from Detroit, Michigan, just our neighbors right to the northwest. And Kay is coming in from North Carolina. And Pamela, okay, you're in. Oh, I got a couple of people from Columbus, Georgia. Excellent, excellent. I'm going to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you, and it is important information. So I want you to be able to share this information with other organizations. So you got to promise me that you're not going to keep it to yourself because I will probably share information with you tonight that you maybe have not heard from anyone else, but it's going to be very important for you moving forward and being able to secure grant money. Yes, even now for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. So I am going to get started and I'm going to share my screen and everything is looking good. Yes, yes, yes. So you should be able to see my screen now. All right, all right, all right. Let me just place that down there at the bottom. All right, so this is the grant writing for Black-owned businesses and Black-led nonprofits. This is my 7 o'clock session. So we were live at noon and we really, really, really had such a good time at noon. And I know we'll have a great time tonight because we are live. All right, all right. So let me give you information about my background. Yes, they call me the Grants Queen because I have won, I have secured over $18 million in grants and funding. And this is year 17 of me owning my company, LaPaul Consulting. Every one of those years I have spent as a professional grant writer. My undergraduate and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. And let's see, I teach grant writing now all over the country for many small organizations, your private nonprofits, but also for some of your major institutions as well, including the Urban League and Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And I have a business, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I want to know who is here with me today. Let me know. In the chat, are you a small business, meaning you could be an LLC or sole proprietor, right? Or even a corporation or a partnership. Or maybe you are a nonprofit. Or maybe you are both, because I'm finding that a lot of small businesses are opening nonprofits. So maybe you are both. Let me know in the chat who is here with me tonight. Oh, I got both. Nonprofit and small business, LLC, LLC and nonprofit, small business, LLC, small business and startup, LLC. Well, let me share with you all, you're in the right place. You are in the right place because there are grants for both industries. There are grants for both kinds of organizations. All right. So whether you are a nonprofit or a small business, yes, there's grant money for you. And we will talk more about that as we move along. Now, how did I get in this space? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania, had a great job traveling all over the world, and then the bottom fell out. I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I literally had to move back to Cleveland and put everything I own into a storage unit and move in with my sister because I literally came home in a wheelchair, and it took me 2 years to recuperate. And after those 2 years, when I was finally able to work again, and this was in Cleveland, I had to move back home to be seen by the Cleveland Clinic, of course, a world-renowned hospital facility. But after the 2 years, when I was able to work again, I couldn't find a job because my experience was in publishing, professional publishing in Pennsylvania. And now I'm in Cleveland. I can't find a job. So that's when I started Lapov Consulting because I like to eat and I needed a roof over my head. And so I started Lapov Consulting. And one of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. Now, I like to keep it real, just so you know, we're going to keep it real as we move through tonight. And let me just say, I don't think I was there 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would pay for my salary. Now, you know that there are times when people who look like us, we're called in to do what? To save the program, to save the project, sometimes to save the entire organization. Well, I had never seen a grant before. I had zero knowledge of grants. Oh, if you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. If you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. But I had never seen a grant before. I had zero knowledge of grants. And now I'm being asked to write a grant that would pay for my salary in this brand new job. But you know what? I did it. Oh, I'm seeing some yeses. I'm seeing some yeses. I did it. I researched. I wrote that grant. I won that grant. And it paid for my job. It paid for my salary. And I knew then that yes, you can write grants. You can win grants with no experience. I was able to do it. And what I've developed over the last 17 years literally is a framework for winning grants. It is a framework. Something else I found out. Once I won that grant, it made me realize what you can do with grant money, right? Because this is year 17 of me being in the grant industry. So I've heard from many of you. I know you are tired of using your own money to fund your organization, or you're tired of wearing all 20 hats. Grant funding can provide support for you. It can provide help. It can provide contractors, salaries, supplies, so that you're not in this alone, or you're not expending all of your own personal finances. Why not use someone else's money to help fund your organization, right? Grants are coming from third-party resources, and guess what? You don't pay them back. So why not? Why not get in this game right now? Because there is grant money available. And yes, even for you as a Black organization. We'll get into that a little bit later. Now, what are we going to cover today? I will give you some grant basics. I will show you how you prepare to apply for grants. This is where too many organizations get it wrong. And I will show you what you write and how you write that application so that you are going to get noticed. And then we're going to conduct some grant research so that you know how to find the funding. And then I have a list of available grants so that you see, yes, there's grant money available right now. And then I have a bonus surprise for you. And then we're going to do a Q&A. Now, speaking of Q&A, this is your opportunity to ask a grants expert your grant questions. So I want you to drop them into either the Q&A box or the webinar chat, because I will get to them all at the end. All right, so as we move through, drop those questions. All right. All right, now I'm here to help you because there have been many obstacles put in our way as Black-led organizations. So many challenges, so many boulders just thrown in our way. I'm here to try to knock as many of them down as possible because I'm going to be sharing information with you that will help you. Just make sure you pay it forward and pass it along to other Black organizations so that they can get the same knowledge. All right, we're ready to go. We are ready to go. Now, why are we here? We are here because Black organizations need access to funding. We are criminally underfunded. And guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans. Like, are you as tired as I am of hearing about loans? Why not pursue grant money? You don't pay grant money back. But let me say this to all of you. You can do this. You can write grants. So grant writing is not what it used to be. Grant writing is not some 300-page document that you're writing for 6 months. No, that's what I used to do. A lot of grant applications now are what? 2, 3, 4 pages. You can do this. But please understand there's a process. This is about more than what you write in the application. This is what I've learned after having won over $18 million. Oh, it's a process. And I'm going to show you that process tonight. All right? But you can do this. You can do it. Now let's talk about what is going on with grants. This is critical for you to know. Yes, federal grants have been cut. Yes, DEI has been cut. Yes, there have been grants that have been frozen. There have been grants that have been rescinded. But guess what? Federal grants do not equal all grants. Grants come from thousands of resources. So yes, your private, community, family, and corporate foundations are still providing grant money. This is what they're not telling you in the media. And they provide grants to nonprofits and small businesses. And the money is there. Grants are being provided every single day, including to Black organizations, which you will see later on. Now, there's a unique opportunity that exists for you that didn't even exist last year. A lot of organizations are assuming that there are no grants because of the federal grant cuts, but now you know better. So that means there's a little less competition. So you're going to swoop in and start applying for these grants. Also, the local, corporate, family, and private foundations are literally increasing their grant funding, trying to fill in the gaps caused by the federal grant cuts, because guess what? The need is greater than ever. So they're literally increasing their grant giving. So here's another opportunity for you to come in and start applying for grants. Now, here's more good news. Your state and county and local governments, yes, they have grant funding. And yes, many of those initiatives are continuing because not all state, county, and local grants originate from the federal government. Many state governments raise their own grant funding, right? So they're not necessarily all dependent upon federal funding. Just last month, I learned about two large grants, a $30 million grant from the state of Ohio and a $20 million grant from the state of Michigan, right? So again, opportunity for you to start looking local. And yes, even your city government, they have grant funding. They typically keep it on the down low, but now you know. All right. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know it includes minorities, women, veterans, the disabled. And we know that the White House, the current administration, is placing pressure on foundations to stop funding DEI. But guess what? These are the communities that they fund, many of these foundations. So they're not just going to stop funding these communities, but at the same time, right, they don't want to feel the wrath of what's coming out of the White House. So what are they doing? They are tweaking the language. So instead of using DEI, they're using other language to describe their funding. And this is exactly what you're going to do. I'll show you in a moment. But here's more good news. Your older foundations, like the Kellogg Foundation, the Ford Foundation, these foundations are, 100 years old. They are much less impacted by what's going on in the White House. So guess what? They are proudly still giving in the area of racial inequity and DEI, right? But there are some foundations that are needing to tweak that language. But still, this is their community. And they're not shying away from giving to this community. They're just changing how they describe how they give to the community. Google and Apple and Delta and Costco. So be encouraged. Foundations are still absolutely giving to areas that include DEI. They're just tweaking that language a bit. So instead of using racial terms or gender terms, they're talking about the conditions or the outcomes, the categories. They're adapting the language, and this is what you're going to do because at the end of the day, your job is to get the grant money, even if you have to tweak that language. So here's an example. Let's say you have a program where you offer youth development opportunities for Black boys. This is who you serve. You serve Black boys. You don't stop serving Black boys. You tweak that language. So now you might have to say we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys, or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities, or supporting boys from communities designated as high need or underrepresented in STEM. I took out the racial piece and I put in the condition, underserved, underrepresented. So these are some of the buzzwords you're going to look for these DEI funding initiatives, right? We in the grant world call it quiet DEI. You're tweaking that language. So this is what you look for. The same for women. Let's say you have a small business. You're a coach. You provide employment and career coaching for women. You may have to tweak that language to now say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement, or providing career development services tailored to those who experience unique workforce challenges due to what? Caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. This is very important that you get this because you may have to tweak that language or look out for foundations that are providing in areas using some of these buzzwords like underserved, right? Inequities. So let me know that you understand this. Give me a yes in the chat because this is how you're going to get grant money regardless of the supposed cuts to DEI, because many of these foundations are absolutely still giving to these areas. Just look for the buzzwords. So give me a yes. Give me a yes. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Got it. This is very important. All right. Now let's go back to the grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back. For those of you with the nonprofits, make absolutely sure you have your 501c3. That is your tax exempt status by the IRS. It's taking about 8 weeks to get it now, but make sure you apply. Now, make sure you are also checking out the chat all night because we're going to be dropping some important links in the chat. So if you want to apply for your 501c3, you have to go through the IRS. And we're dropping the link right in the chat. Now, I want everybody to look at this slide. This is the amount of grant giving every year. The last solid numbers were from 2023. And look, this is just from foundation and corporation giving. You don't see federal funding anywhere on the slide. And yet we have $189 billion being given in 1 year. Billion with a B, yes. And guess what? This money is being provided right now because the numbers are expected to increase for 2024 and 2025. This is why organizations are getting funded. They're getting grant money every single day. You've got to get in this game, right? You can't believe everything you see in the media or on TV that, oh my gosh, all the grants are gone. $190 billion, look at that number. Think about it. But don't be intimidated by it because you just need your share. Like too many organizations look at these large numbers and think, oh, there's no way I can get any of it. I'm just not even going to apply. Focus on what you need. As a matter of fact, I want all of you right now into the chat to put, I just need a little bit. Literally, I want you to write, I just need a little bit because you just need a little bit of $189 billion, right? You need what you need. And that's what I want you to focus on. Just a little bit, right? Look, I'll take the crumbs that fall from $189 billion because that is a lot of money. That's right, Kathy. Pamela, are we trying to be greedy, Velma? Are you trying to get all $189 billion, Webster? No, just a little bit, right? You know what you need. Focus on what you need, all right? That's what we're going to do. Now, first, I just need for you to, if at all possible, download an editing tool, a software editing tool, because I don't want this writing process to be difficult for you. I use Grammarly. If you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. I am a professional editor, a professional writer, and a professional grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. Why is this important? because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. And let me tell you, it is easy to do so. So download, I love Grammarly because guess what? It will self-correct as you write. And it's free. It's free. You download it onto your computer. You use it as you're writing Word or Excel or your emails, because I don't want you submitting these applications that have these grammatical errors in them. And a program like Grammarly will basically eliminate that, and it's free. Why not? All right? All right. Now, how else are you going to prepare to apply? Remember, I'm saying that winning a grant is about more than what you write in the application. Be prepared. Get your documents in order. Your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits, you need your 501c3. Now, small businesses, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have your articles of incorporation? And if you have a board of directors, yes, you need your list. Now, also use letters of support. Let the foundation know that there are other organizations that support your mission. Who are you going to ask? Name drop. Do you know the mayor? Do you know politicians? Have them write you a letter of support. Or it could be your pastor, your church, community leaders. Now, if you're currently operating, you need your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement for sure, which is also called an income statement. Now, all of you need a current operating budget, but I don't want you to freak out when you hear this term budget. First of all, you can get a template online, but all it is an accounting of what you think your expenses are going to be over the course of a year. How much money do you think is going to take for you to operate? You put that into an operating budget. It will also help you to define how much grant money you should be asking for. But overall, you first need to know, how much money is it going to take for you to operate? So lay out your expenses in an operating budget. Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices, because I want you to write this grant as if you were telling a story, because really that's what a grant application is. The first section is the mission. The mission is everything. It not only defines who you are, what you do, your aims and your goals, it is going to connect you to the foundation that wants to give you funding, because you need to align your mission to their mission, right? So if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework 101 for you. Make sure you are aligning your mission to the mission of foundation. So if you are maybe laser focused on education, make sure that the foundation is giving funding specifically in the area of education. All right. Now, this next section is how you are going to separate yourself from the pack. It's how you describe your organization. And I need for you to focus on one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? Track your success. This is what foundations want. This is how they're giving grant funding. It's over with the feel-good initiatives like, oh, I just want to help the world. How are you doing it? Track your success. Let's say you have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people do you place in shelters every year? And when they get there, what happens? Do they end up getting a GED? Do they end up getting a job? Maybe they end up getting permanent housing. Track your success. You open up a restaurant. How many people attend every year? How many people do you serve? How many employees have you hired? You're changing somebody's life when you hire them, right? Do you have maybe other community programs where maybe you have a garden in the back, or maybe you teach cooking lessons? How many people are you impacting over the course of a year? Let's say you haven't even opened. You still need to write about impact. Let's say you have a tutoring program for high school kids. You can write about your projections. So you can project, right? And indicate that once the students complete your tutoring program, you project that they will increase their reading scores by 5%. So whether you are currently open or you are too open, you still have to write about impact, all right? Using real numbers. And also, when you write this application, you must write as if you are solving a problem or addressing a need. And it doesn't matter if you are a nonprofit or a small business, this is the way you must write. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a bakery. A bakery is located in a downtown community. Now, you might be thinking, what problem is she solving? Right? She's making cookies all day. Maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods. So that's the problem she's solving. Or maybe it's economic development because where she's locating is an underserved community and she wants to help with the revitalization of that community. You have to write as if you're solving a problem or addressing an issue because it's going to connect you to the foundation that wants to give you funding because they're giving money in the same area. So that's why you have to make that connection. How do you find out where they fund? You go to their websites. Now, I know 90% of foundations don't have a website, but that's okay. There are other ways of getting this information. All right. And I just want to spend a couple of minutes on target population because I've been a business coach for years. And when I ask organizations who they serve, too often I serve everybody. You cannot help everybody. This is how you get burnt out, right? You should have one, maybe two target populations. Because if you tell me you serve veterans, I'm going to ask you veterans who? Veterans that have PTSD, maybe they need care, or they're homeless, they need transitional housing. One, maybe two target populations should be your focus. Because the more you pile on, the more targets you try to help, the more you dilute your results. All right, so niche down one or two. And then make a decision. All of you have this decision to make when you are applying for a grant. Are you applying for operating grant money or program project grant money? Now, when you get an operating grant, it is fantastic because you get to decide where to put the funds. Do you want to pay salaries or a lease or IT or marketing? You decide. However, most grant money goes to a particular program or project. And yes, you can have one even if you're a small business, right? Let's say that restaurant that we talked about, maybe she wants to add on a delivery service. That could be a project. But whatever you do, make sure you are applying to multiple foundations. Tell me in the chat why you think that is. Why do you think you have to apply to more than one foundation? Let me know in the chat why you think it is so important for you to apply to more than one foundation. Keep in mind, people, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Getting grant money is a marathon. This is not a one and done industry. That's right, Freya. Increase your odds of winning. Janine, yes, better chance to get the grant. Chantel, increased chances of receiving grant money. Absolutely. But also 99.9% of the time, if somebody is telling you they can guarantee you grant money, they are scammers. Grants are not guaranteed. You have to apply to multiple foundations. Grants aren't guaranteed. You're not guaranteed that you're going to get grant money just because you apply for a grant. I see it on social media a lot, especially Facebook. Oh, apply here. Everybody receives grant money. Everybody wins. No, scammers. 99.9% of the time. Now, let's move on to community partnerships because they are everything. You need community partners because foundations do not expect you to work alone. They don't. Let me tell you how easy this is. Let's say you have an accounting firm. Go to your local library, give a tax talk every month. You're going to have a willing audience, right? Now, what does it have to do with grants? Because they're going to promote you. They're going to promote your tax talk. They're going to elevate your visibility. And you want to be seen because foundations are always looking to see who's doing what in communities. So libraries are tremendous partners, but so are other organizations, universities, the Urban League, 100 Black Men of America. Connect and see how you can maybe speak to their audience or get recognition through your speaking. But also, here's another example that I think will make this even clearer. Let's say a young man has an ex-offender program because he wants to make sure when people are released from jail back into society, that they become successful and that they're not going back to jail. I want you to tell me in the chat who you think he should be meeting with. Who should be his community partners? Now, he must speak to the inmates before they are released just to make sure they qualify for the program. But I want to know, who do you think he should be talking to in the community? He has an ex-offender program. He wants to make sure that that ex-offender is successful once he or she is released back into society. You tell me, who should he be meeting with? Do you want the parole boards? Absolutely, Rochelle, the parole boards. The parole boards. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Do you want the person to have a job? You want them to be able to get a job after they're released from jail? What about workforce development agencies and organizations? Keep dropping your questions into the chat. I'm going to get to all of them. Right, small businesses, Chantel, you know why? Because they have workforce development programs. You want the ex-offenders to get jobs so that they're not going back to jail. The police officers, absolutely. And then what if they need counseling? What about social service agencies that can get them counseling? Right? We just named in here like 4 or 5 different organizations that he should be meeting with. Because when you get these community partners, they can also refer you to organizations that they know are providing grant money. That's why the organizations need to be well respected in the community. So here's your homework. I want you to name 5 organizations that you are going to partner with, that you're going to at least reach out to for partnerships based on your program. So name 5. That's your homework. Now we're on to the money. When you are increasing the amounts that you're going to be applying for, whatever you do, itemize your expenses. Whether you have an initial budget or those of you who have already won money and you want to increase it, by the way, always do that. Once you have received grant funding, always increase the amount in year 2. Whatever you do, itemize your expenses. So you want $50,000 for an executive director? You can't just write, I need 50 grand for an ED. Is it a contracted position? How much money are you paying the person an hour? How many hours a week? How many weeks out of the year will they be working? Be specific. And then how you describe your use of the money goes into the budget narrative. Here's a clue. Always connect the money back to the goal of the program. Let the foundation know that how your money is being spent aligns with their mission and your mission too. All right? That becomes important. Now, I think I hear you. I think I hear some of you. You're like, Linda, this doesn't sound bad, but I don't have time for this. I don't have time to write these grants. Well, remember what I said to you earlier today. Some of these grant applications are 4, 5, 6 pages. Some of them are 2 and 3 pages. Some of them are a character count. I kid you not. So for those of you who are thinking, I don't have time, also AI will give you your time back. ChatGPT is phenomenal. Use it. It will give you your time back. But I have a question for all of you, especially the ones that are saying, I don't know if I have time. Do you have time to get the free money? I need to see in the chat. Let me see in the chat if anybody has time to get free money. Like, do you have time to get the free money? Oh, I see. Yes, I see. Absolutely. I see. I do. I see. Yep. I see. Yes. So it looks like to me, oh, I see all day. Oh, yes. So it looks like to me like you've got some time to get some free money. So I need for you to spend just a little time on the process, to get the free money. Here is what you're going to do. This is the slide here. If you don't take anything else away from this meeting, this is it. You need to build a relationship with the foundation. In other words, meet with the foundation before you submit the grant application. They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you funding. This is what they do. They meet with organizations. You want to meet with them, trust me, because in that meeting, oftentimes they will share information with you that is not on their website. I probably set up 1,000 of these meetings in the last 16 years. I always remember one client, 30-minute Zoom meeting, he got $30,000 because the missions aligned. You can do this. Meet with the foundation first. It is often the deciding factor as to whether or not somebody gets grant money, all other things being equal. Now, what do? How do you meet with them? You send them an email. You are describing your organization in the email, and you are aligning your mission and your program to where they fund. And you never, ever, 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 ever ask for money in the email. You ask for a meeting. And in the meeting, you ask for the money. All right? All right, all right, all right. Now, it's time to find the grant funding. Look, people, Google is fine, but I need for you to use a grant portal where you have access to so many grants. Now, the Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grants in the U.S. Now, let's say you have a program in Detroit where you are trying to place veterans in transitional housing. You plug that information in. You push a button, it will give you a list of organizations that will fund that type of program. It's $50 a month to subscribe or free at your local library, free. Grants.gov, we know that's the source of federal grants. And by the way, there's still some federal grants available. Lilly Foundation, largest funder of religious organizations. So if you have a church or faith-based organization, yes, there are grants for you. By the way, Walmart gives to churches. Yes. Grant Watch, they're $20 a week. They provide a lot of last minute grants, but also they provide the actual synopsis of the grant and the deadline, right? And the sponsoring organization. So $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. Speaking of $200 for the year, that's Grant Watch. They're also the same amount, and they give you a lot of training. Urban Awareness USA.org, they're Black owned, so please sign up and support them. They drop information on new grants, probably 2 to 3 new grant opportunities a week. All right. Now, I want to show you how to conduct the grant research. This is Grant Station, $200 for the whole year. Look to my right where it says areas of interest. Every block you see, there's probably 20 drop-down blocks. They really allow you to hone in on where you're serving. And then you put in your target populations. You push a button, you get a list of grants and the funders as well. Now, let me say something to all of you about location, because I think a lot of you leave money on the table. Don't be seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. Start local. It is easier to get local grant money. And then look national. You're going to do both. Just because the foundation is headquartered in Texas doesn't mean they don't have grant money for you and you're in Tennessee. You're going to look local and national for grants. All right. And for my global community, this is absolutely for you as well. You could be stationed here and serve a population in Africa and get grant funding, or live in Africa and serve a population in Africa and get grant money. All right. All right. Now, I wanted to show you this list just so that you understand that, yes, there are still grants geared towards you as a Black organization, regardless of what you're seeing on TV. Right? Now, I won't go through them all, just a few. Progressive has a $50,000 grant. You have to buy a car with the grant money. Annuity Freedom, literacy, financial literacy. Hello Alice, they have 3 grants right now. Operation Hope, that's John Hope Bryant. He's trying to help 1 million Black businesses. He's at 400,000. Join. Do you have a brick and mortar? Wish.com has a grant for you, and I mean like a physical location. LISC, they fly under the radar screen, but guess what? They've given away $1 billion since 1979, and they are laser focused on supporting the Black community. Amber Grants for Women, they give away $30,000 every single month. Shea Moisture has a grant. They're so focused on hair care salons for communities of color. Now let's hop down to Amarillo where it says small because all they do is give grants to super small organizations. Because some of you might be thinking, Linda, oh, I don't know if this is for me. I'm a solopreneur. Solopreneurs get grants too. Absolutely. Or as you see, so does all volunteer nonprofits. All volunteer nonprofits also get grants. Look, you don't need some huge organizational chart. Maybe you don't even pay yourself. There's grant money available. I won't go through them all. Now startups, busy.com and Sky's the Limit, they both have startup grants. And by the way, if you are a woman startup, Amber Grants for Women, every month they have a startup grant. And with Amber Grants for Women, unlike many other startup grants, you can be at the idea stage. So you are not even going to be open yet. And you can get funding from Amber Grants for Women. All right. Now, all of you, really quickly, I want you to put into the chat, like, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks, banks and money, banks and money? What comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Let me know in the chat. Banks and money, banks and money. Let's see. Loans, red tape, loans not approved, loans. Do you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? Grant money. Bank of America and Wells Fargo every single year give over $100 million away in grants. Every single year, over $100 million in grants. You're not going to the right person. It's not your branch manager. It's not your loan officer. It's a VP. Usually a VP of community development or community reinvestment or economic development. And I'm giving you 4 hot leads right now. All 4 of these banks provide grant funding. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, and Truist. I'm dropping the links into the chat for you. Now, let me talk to you about ChatGPT. Be careful if you're going to use it. Know how to use it. Use it as a tool, not a replacement. There is no magic button that you're going to push and poof, AI is going to give you a magically perfect grant application. Doesn't exist. You have to feed it information about your organization, which means you have to know how to write information about your organization, your mission, your impact statement, your statement of need, your target population, your programming, your services, why you're unique, why you are different. That is what gets grant funding. And you load that information into AI and then you let it rewrite or perfect for you, but you've got to have the basic information first. And then you load it in and you ask it prompts, the right prompts, so that it can help you. It can be a phenomenal tool if you use it right. Which brings me to my bonus surprise. I have written a course that will teach you how to write about your organization. So even if you want to use AI, you will have the foundation to feed into AI if that's what you're using, right? Even if that's not what you're using, you are going to have what it takes to start winning grants. This course is how I won $17 million. I put everything I learned into a course so that you can do the same. And your secret weapon is going to be me because I'm going to serve as your grant coach. Because it's not just about what you write in the application. I said that at the beginning. This is a process. And if you're going to pursue grants, please do so in a community where you can get the help that you need. You can get questions answered and not by necessarily by bots, but by real people, right? Who've been doing this for a while. So my course will teach you how to write every part of the grant application for sure. It will teach you how to conduct the grant research so that you're finding the organizations that, yes, right now are still providing grant money. Yes, for you. But here's where the coaching comes in. Let's say you set up that meeting with the foundation. Do you know what to say? Do you know what you never leave that meeting without knowing, or what you bring with you, or what questions to ask? We have a private Facebook group that is phenomenal. You come into the group for help. You ask the questions, you will get the help that you need. I'm in there all the time, right? Answering questions. Let's say you have your budget. Do you know how much money to ask for? You know that not every foundation will let you know the amount of their grant. Many community foundations will say, what do you need? How much money do you need? You need to know approximately like what you should be asking for. You can't just say, oh, I need $1 million. Now, that won't work. All right. So I'm providing 12 modules, and these lessons have been created based on my experience. I was hired to create grant applications, including write the questions. So what I'm providing you is going to end in a beautiful grant template that you're going to then use to start applying for grant after grant after grant, because the questions that I ask you are from real grant applications, so that we really dig deep and get like the most fantastic, impactful information about your organization, so that you show that in real grant applications when it's time to apply. And yes, I give you real examples so that you see what winning grants look like. Every grant in the course won money. I wrote every grant in the course. And as a bonus, you get a list of over 600 organizations that provide funding, saving you time and effort. The private Facebook group, I mentioned it, it is everything. There are so many grants that we drop in the Facebook group. Plus, it's about collaboration. You have a daycare center. Find out if there are other daycare centers in the Facebook group, which there are, by the way. It's collaboration, no competition. And to make sure that you are receiving the help, you get live group coaching directly with me, live group coaching every single month. We just held one a couple of weeks ago. I say an hour. They never last an hour because I stay until every question has been answered. I'm here to help you win this grant funding, part of this $190 billion, right? Now, I want you to look at these numbers carefully, because it's not what you're paying, but it's what this course is worth. It's a $5,000 course. I've had it audited 3 times. The lessons are worth $3,500. The videos are $600. The funding list, $500. The workbooks and the planners and the grant trackers to help you, all to help you. It's worth $5,000. You're only literally going to pay a fraction of it, because I believe this is what I should be doing. And I talked to you earlier about all of the hurdles and the obstacles that have been put in our way. Like, I don't want to be another one. I want to serve, right, and help you. And I don't want the price of this course, even though it's supposed to be priced at $5,000, my colleagues charge $2,000 for their courses, and you don't get what I give you, and you certainly don't get access to them. I'm providing you with some access to me. But here's what you're going to pay. The course is $997. Right now, it's on special for $497. This year, I understand what's been going on. I know you need extra help, but you hopped on the webinar, and I know you could have been somewhere else at 7 o'clock, so you're going to take $200 off of the $497. Everything I talked to you about to help you get a grant is $297, and it's one payment. You're one and done. You have lifetime access to this course. It will be here for you forever. The Facebook group will be here for you forever. Every month, I am helping you with these live coaching calls for less than $300. That's not a month. That's one and done, right? And if you need extra help, we have a 2-month payment plan. It's $175 a month for 2 months. JULY22 is the code that you're going to need to get your $200. If you want the 2-month payment plan, put a T at the end of the code, JULY22T. And you saw right, the course never expires. So you get the Facebook group, you get the full course, the coaching, write it off, everything's tax deductible, and you even get a certificate of completion. And by the way, to help you, I have templates. Remember I mentioned the importance of speaking with the foundations? I have a template where you're going to send the email. We talked about the partnerships. I have a template to send to the partner. I have a grant application template. These are all available because I'm trying to make this as easy as possible so that you get templates, so that you get the help. You have 3 days, by the way, because even I can't keep the course at $297. So you've got 3 days, use the code. And then for those of you who want something a little extra and you're ready, I have a 2-day boot camp. I teach you 2 months worth of work in 2 days. At the end of day 2, you leave with a completed grant application. Now, this is for organizations that are ready to go. Keisha took it. 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. 2 weeks after that, she had a $100,000 grant, had never written a grant in her life before. Now, this program was $1,997 for the 2 days, 7 hours a day. You leave with a completed grant application. And yes, it includes the course and a lot more. And you have me, this is one-on-one for 2 days. All right. Now, for those of you who are asking how to buy the $300 course, I'm going to share. Let me bring this up. I'm going to do this live. I'm going to do this live. I want to bring up let's see how we can do this. I want to show you how you can buy the course. All right, let's see if it's going to let me bring up the actual course, how you buy it rather. Let me stop sharing. Let me bring this up for those of you who are asking how to buy the course. I want to do this live so that you see how simple this is if you want to buy the course. All right, let me share my screen so that you can see this. So I said it was $297, right? So it's $497, then you have the $200 coupon. So click purchase now, and then you're going to enter the coupon that I gave you so that you can take the $200 off, which is JULY22. You include it, hit apply, it will take out $200, you're paying $297. You see this little block here? That is a private VIP session with me for an hour. We do a deep dive into your organization. You're going to leave with complete clarity because before we talk about grants, I'm going to examine your mission, vision, infrastructure, right? Your service or your program, and you even leave with a little mini list of grants. It's 1 hour. You get the session notes and you even get the video. It's $497. But if you buy it with the course, it's only $247. That's the only time it's discounted. All right, so you put in your coupon. Now, if you want the private session, click. It will add the 247. If not, you don't need to. Input your email, and then we accept credit cards and PayPal, but guess what? We have buy now, pay later, even for a lower amount, like $297. So you're going to hit pay another way and then hit new payment method. And you're going to see Affirm. If you hit the little drop down, you'll see Afterpay or Klarna. Those are all 4 months, same as cash. That's $75 a month, people, to finally get the help that you need to start winning grants so that you're not being frustrated, so you don't start applying for grants that do not pertain to you. That is wasting so much time, and I find this happens a lot. You'll be in a community of support. All right, so you can pay the $297 with the PayPal, credit card, bank withdrawal, or again, for those of you who want the 4 months same as cash, hit Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. Now, I also mentioned, excuse me, that there is a 2-month plan. That's 2 times $275. hit purchase now. You know you're not paying $275, right? You're paying $175 because you have a coupon, and put your coupon code JULY22 with the little T. It will take off $100 a month. You're paying $175 a month for 2 months, and then you're done. And yes, you can add on the private coaching if you like. All right, so I just wanted to make sure everybody knew how to purchase. So we are going to stop sharing. All right, and then we're going to bring up the course. All right, now, hopefully everybody see my screen. I want to make sure everybody can still see my screen. Excellent, excellent. These people only bought the course. They only bought the $300 course. Nicola won $250,000 last month. She didn't have any grant experience. She wasn't a professional grant writer. They're following my framework in the course. She spent less than $300. She won $250,000. And guess what? She didn't ask for $250,000. But her application was so tight that when the foundation read it, they're like, wow, we need this in additional locations. She had only asked for $50,000 over the course of 2 years. They countered and said, here's $250,000. Can you do this in some other locations? And guess what? She has an LLC. This is for you people who are not believing that small businesses can get grants. She has a small business. That's where she got her $250,000 from. Whitney has a doula organization. She did exactly what I'm asking you to do. She followed the framework. She applied locally and nationally. She applied to her utility company locally. How many of you knew? Let me know in the chat if you knew that your utility companies have grants, especially the larger ones. They have foundations. She received $40,000 from the Southern Power Fund. And then she went national, go beyond your state to apply for grants, and she got $50,000. Kanisha, $100,000. Kimberly, $84,000 last month. Cherie, $11,000. These people are not professional grant writers. Therapeutic massage company in Charlotte, Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage, $20,000. People, as long as you're doing something legal, you can get grant funding. As long as you're providing a legal service or program, you can receive grant money. You have to know where to look, and that's what the course is for. Christina has an online educational consulting firm. Online. You don't need a brick and mortar. She was scared. She said, Linda, I didn't even have the confidence to follow through until I took your grant writing course, $10,000 and a year's mentorship. Here's a bonus for you because I just don't want you using, I don't have time as a reason not to get in this game and win this grant money. I'm gifting you. I'm going to gift you my AI guide. I wrote an AI grant guide, 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. It includes a tutorial to literally show you, I am guiding you how you use AI to win grants. You'll get that when you buy the course. And I'm throwing in one other bonus. If you buy the course today, this is what I'm going to give to you. Make sure you get off to the best start. The U.S. Black Chambers, they provide a Buy Black list of grants for small businesses and nonprofits. This is the latest edition. I'm going to give that to you. You must know that there are organizations that are still providing grants for you. That is very important, regardless of what you're seeing on TV. All right, regardless of what you're seeing on TV. Right? So this is why I asked you at the beginning to do what? To share this information. Share it with other Black organizations. You need to know the grant money is real. Everyone that you saw in that testimonial section are Black. Nicola, last month, in the midst of all of this, $250,000. right? A lot of these are six-figure grants. Not all of them are, some of them are. It's Q&A time. It's Q&A time. All right. Now, before we get to the Q&A, I need you to do one more thing for you, not for me. For you. I believe in manifestation. You've got to get in this game. It has to come from up here. You've got to do this, right? There are organizations waiting on your skills and your talents. You are waiting on you. Get this out into the universe. Get this out of you. Like, release this right now into the webinar chat. I want everybody, before you leave here, to write down. I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money. And if you have a nonprofit and you don't have your 501c3, while you're waiting to get the 501c3, start researching and writing. You're going to submit when you get the 501c3. Research and write now. So if you are waiting on that 501c3, researching right now, everybody right now into the chat, I am ready to get grant money. Put this out into the universe. It's time. Organizations are getting grant funding, and there is increased grant funding from these non-federal organizations. It's amazing what is happening. Rochelle, Demetra, that's what I'm talking about. I'm ready to get grant money. Freya, Chantel, yes. I'm ready to get grant funding. Bernadette, a shield. Write this down for you. Don't write this for me. There are people waiting on you. And let me say this to all of you from experience. Your success is on the other side of your fear. Your success is on the other side of your fear. Do not let what you are reading discourage you. There's $190 billion being released. Get in this game, Webster. I'm ready to get grant money. Jocelyn, I'm ready to get grant money. Kathy, Velma. This is for you, right? Invest in yourself just a little so that you can stop self-funding everything and constantly using your own money. A couple of weeks ago, a young lady, it literally hurt, it broke my heart. She had a nonprofit. She said, Linda, I've been with this nonprofit for 17 years. She had not received $1 of grant funding. She had a nonprofit. There's an old saying called, you don't know what you don't know. When you get into a community of people who know, then you know better. You know if you should be applying for that grant or wasting your time with this grant, right? You can focus and you know what to do and how to do it. All right. Let's start with the Q&A. I'm going into the box. Does your company do grants for people? I have partners that I work with who are professional grant writers that I partner with who are phenomenal grant writers. So yes, we can work with you if you want grants written for you through one of my partnering agencies. Is there a fee that I have to pay to receive a grant? Excellent question. People, be careful. 99.9% of the time, there is no fee for you to apply for a grant. 99.9% of the time, there is no fee for you to apply for a grant, and there is certainly no fee for you to get a grant if it has been legitimately awarded to you. Here's what's happening. There are third-party organizations that are trying to charge you fees to apply on your behalf to these organizations to get grant funding. The fee is not coming from the organizations because 99.9% of organizations don't charge you a fee. The only organization I'm familiar with who is legitimate, who charges a fee, is Amber Grants for Women. It's $15 and you get to apply to all 3 grants. All right. I need over $1 million to get plans done and do the due diligence for the business, new construction. Are there funds for that? Yes, it sounds like you probably need some investors or maybe some angel investors. But also, how much money do you have to put into the game? If you're trying to get over $1 million, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? I think you're going to need to use diverse funding, grants, along with other kinds of funding, right? I know with 37angels.org, they give up to $150,000 to women who start organizations, who are founders. It depends on what you are doing. You're saying business new construction. What does that mean? You have to be specific. Are there funds for that? I have no idea because I have no idea what business new construction means. You have to be specific. Let's say you're in affordable housing. I can tell you that affordable housing is a huge area for grant funding. Banks love to give grants for affordable housing. It depends on what are you doing? What business? What new construction? You have to be very, very specific because when you are searching for grants, you're searching based on the area of interest, the category, the target population. Who are you helping with your new business construction? Right? So there are a lot of questions that you have to answer before I would be able to help you sufficiently. Looking at internet installations, looking at a boys group home, what would take for you to present to the NAACP group? I would be happy to present to the NAACP group. If you could send me an email, because I do present to major organizations like the Urban Leagues and other organizations, if you could just send me an email to hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com. But looking at your, I don't know what this list is, internet installations or boys group home, those are two totally different areas. So the first thing I'm going to say is focus. Like, where is your focus? Because a group home is totally different than you being involved in internet installations. Remember, I talked earlier about not spreading yourself too thin, like one target population. Where's your passion? That's the question for you. Where is your passion? All right. And then go from there. I asked this because several lenders and grant agencies on TikTok told me that I got approved, but there's an upfront fee that I have to pay to the FedEx or USPS driver to get to the grant. I cannot speak to anything that you learned on TikTok. I have no idea what somebody on TikTok told you. I don't know of any grant agencies on TikTok. I don't know of which lenders you're speaking of, but what you said is not accurate. Okay. Let's see. What is the best advice? What is the best advice for finding someone to help with taxes? An accountant. An accountant, definitely. Beyond a bookkeeper, I would say an accountant. An accountant. And by the way, speaking of taxes, for you small businesses, yes, you do have to pay taxes on grants, just so you know. The good news is, however, no one's checking your credit score, right? That's a huge difference between you getting a grant and a loan from a bank. You know, the bank is going to check your credit score, right? The grant is not going to you personally, it's going to your business or your nonprofit. So you don't get your credit score checked. I want to build a venue. I would need more information. A venue for what? What are you doing with the venue? If you're building a venue that is maybe a senior citizens complex, now there are multiple areas where you should be seeking grants because now you're serving senior citizens. You can be getting grants from organizations, right, that provide funding to LLCs or nonprofits that serve senior citizens because you're building a venue for them, right? It depends on what you are doing with the venue. What is the use? Are you serving the community at all? Right? If you buy the course and you come into the Facebook group, I will be happy to do a little bit more of a deep dive. An event venue for what purpose? Right? Depends on what community you're in. Maybe you could pursue a community development grant because wherever that event venue is going to be, you are helping to serve the community, right? So that's one clear area where you should be seeking grant funding is those community development grants. All right. Apologies for not being specific. Is there a specific kind of account? I had scheduled an interest appointment and she did not work with nonprofits. An interest appointment with whom, though? With whom? So I would just do the research and find an accountant that works well with nonprofits. I think that's the best thing you can do. Most of the accountants I know work with both nonprofits and for profits, but if you're looking for someone specifically that works with nonprofits, I would do that research for sure. Because that's just one person, right? You spoke with one person that said they don't work with nonprofits. That's okay. There are many others that do. I can refer you to an accountant that works with both small businesses and nonprofits. If you want to send me an email, I can refer you to an accountant that works with both. All right. Let's see. That's it for the Q&A in the box. I'm going to go up to the webinar chat because I saw some questions here that I can answer. All right. Will the grant course enable a learner to become a certified grant writer? And what are other benefits of attending the training? You will receive a certificate of completion, right, that you can show to anyone indicating that you have completed a grant writing course. So the benefits of attending the training is so that you, one, learn how to write grants correctly, learn what goes into placing yourself in a position to win grants, because as I mentioned from the beginning, it is about more than what you write in the application. There are other factors that go into you winning. So you're going to get coaching from a person who's been in this industry for 17 years and who has won over $18 million. So you'll gain that knowledge, right? And be able to just ask questions as you are pursuing grants. All right. So that's just a few. And then, of course, you have the Facebook group. You can come in and ask questions if you like. And then the course will teach you how to do the research so that you know where and how to look. All right. Let's see. Other questions. And yes, you'll also be in a community of support because there are others that are likely to be in your same industry, right? In the Facebook group, there are 3,000 students, all different industries and backgrounds, and oftentimes they collaborate. It is like a beautiful thing to see. It is a community where you can get help instead of trying to do this on your own and spending a lot of time moving in the wrong direction. All right, let's see. Yeah, so I'm not sure who you're speaking to on TikTok. I really can't speak to that, but what you laid out just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It sounds like a complete and total scam because no one is going to indicate to you from any type of legitimate funder or legitimate foundation that you have to pay $300 to a UPS driver or FedEx driver to get a check. I've never heard of that in my 17 years of being a professional grant writer. So I would move away from maybe that platform and go find other legitimate, right, resources that you can work with in terms of pursuing grant funding. And I would be happy to provide one of those communities for you if you want to join the course. All right, let's see. Let's see. Other questions. I'm moving through here. Other questions, other questions. Yeah, so I'm showing you this information about the bank so that you all understand that there's grant money beyond the federal government. Like, I don't want you to be discouraged by what's going on in the White House. Because as you can see, these are Black organizations receiving grant money consistently. But yes, you need to know how and where and when and who. All right, let's see. The total amount is $297. That's it. That's for everything. Now, if you want to meet with me privately, that's the $247. But that's an option. The course is $297. That's it. Now, depending on where you live, and we have no involvement in this at all. It depends on your state. There may be some state sales tax. We literally have no control over that whatsoever. So just so you know, there may be some state sales tax. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Right now, before we do anything else, we have to stop. We have to give Webster some love because Webster bought the course. Webster, I need to see some clapping hands for Webster. I need to see some heart, some love, some because he decided to take this course and to move forward and stop being frustrated and stop not knowing where to go. For those of you who are buying the course, you will get 3 emails. One email will be your link to the Facebook group. And by the way, when you get into the Facebook group, I'm going to do something special because I want you to be helped right away. I'm going to ask you, Webster, and everybody else to give me a 3 or 4 sentence synopsis of your organization. Answer the question, and I'm going to give you links as to where you should be looking for grants based on your organization. I'm going to do that for you. All right. Get you off to a good start. All right. All right. And then you receive your link to the Facebook group and then your password and your username so that you get into the course and you get started. Right. Because that's what I want to provide for you as a platform for you to get the help that you need. All right. Let's see other questions. I currently have an alterations business in a brick and mortar. I want to expand into my own building with a workshop, boutique, and classroom. Are there any grants for that? Yes. So again, it's not a matter of whether or not there are grants for you. It's where to find them. So you're in the alterations business. So that's fashion. That's fashion, right? That's the fashion industry. So I want to use you as an example. This is for all of you. There are multiple categories where you should be seeking grants. Now, she's in the alterations business. She has a brick and mortar. So first of all, Jocelyn, I know that there are 2 grants you should be applying for because you have to have a brick and mortar. The Main Street grant and the wish.com grant. They're both for brick and mortar companies. So 1, apply for grants that are for brick and mortar companies. 2, you're a woman, start applying for grants geared towards women-owned businesses. You're a person of color. That's number 3. Apply for grants geared towards people of color, regardless of your industry, right? Number 4, you're in the fashion business industry. Start applying for grants that are geared towards fashion, even though you don't have to be a designer, right? You're doing alterations. Now you want to expand your building and create a workshop where I'm assuming you probably want to teach sewing and a boutique in a classroom. That's number 5. Now you're seeking education grants. 5 different areas, Jocelyn, where you should be seeking grants. This is why you join a community so that you can get information like what I just said to you that maybe no one else will tell you. 5 different categories where you should be seeking grants. Let me give you some encouragement. I'm going to give you 2 examples. I have a friend who's a fashion designer. She's in the course. With the extra fabric that she has, she's like a high-end fashion designer. With the extra fabric that she has, she sews clothes and give them to and donate the clothes to women in homeless shelters and women who are in domestic violence shelters. Now, if I'm giving a grant to a small business, I have 2 small businesses, 2 fashion designers. One fashion designer, this is what they're doing. They're designing fashion. That's wonderful. That's great. The other fashion designer is using her extra fabric to create clothes for homeless women. Who am I going to give the grant money to? So by you indicating to me that you want to expand your building to create a workshop for educational purposes, is going to set you apart. It's going to set you apart because now you're doing more than just your typical business. Now you're serving the community in a much different way because you're offering educational services, which is huge. All right. All right. So I hope everybody understood that there are multiple categories for all of you where you should be seeking grants, not just one, multiple categories. All right. All right. See, other questions, The course is online. The course is online. Joshua, I don't know if you were responding to the other person about the $200. That is such a scam. I've never heard of that in my life before, and I've been in this industry for a very long time. That just doesn't, nothing about that made any sense to me. The course is online. It's self-paced. Go at your own pace. Come into the Facebook group for questions. Also embedded in the course. Every time you get to a lesson, there's a discussion starter. So when you get to that lesson and you have a question, it comes to me directly so that I can help you directly. I make sure you get some access to me. Again, as I mentioned before, I'm not making this up. I have colleagues that charge $2,000 for their grant writing courses, and you get no access to them whatsoever. You're paying less than $300 for this course. Now, again, as you can see, I have other services that are more expensive, the boot camp, and I have group coaching. If you want regular group coaching, I do grant reviews, but I keep this course low. And as you can see, it is proven. It's a proven course. I keep it low to help as many organizations as I possibly can. All right. All right. Let's see. You will absolutely get the recording. Check your email. Melissa, if you could drop my email address into the webinar chat. Everyone, please put my email into your contact list. You're going to get the replay from this email address. So I just don't want it going to your spam folder. So tonight and tomorrow, check your email. You're going to get the replay. All right. And you're also going to get for the next 3 days, by the way, you have until it's Thursday. What is it? It's Tuesday. You have until Friday. You have until Friday to get the additional $200 off. You have until Friday. But if you buy today, you're going to get that bonus, right? You're going to get the buy blacklist of grants for nonprofits and for profits. If you buy it before the 3 days, you're going to get, everybody will get the AI guide because I really want you to have that guide so that you know how to write faster and better. But today, those that are buying today, you're going to get that buy blacklist of grants. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. Is it a good idea to set up a tutoring business in person and online? There are many organizations that set up tutoring businesses in person and online. What is your area? Like, what is your category? Other questions? Let me just see here. So quite a few organizations do that. In-person tutoring and then online. So that's really up to you. But just so you know, if you only have an online business, yes, you can get grant funding. Christina won a $10,000 grant. Her business is all online. Let me just make sure there are no more questions in the Q&A. And do you need a 501c3 if you are an LLC? Absolutely not. The 501c3 is only for nonprofits. Only for nonprofits. All right. The LLC is a small business designation. You don't need a 501c3. 501c3s allow you to be tax exempt, and they're only for nonprofits. My area is K through 12 math and reading. That's a great idea then, the tutoring. And yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a good idea to provide online and in person because there are some people, especially when it comes to tutoring, they just want that personalized support, right? They want you to be right there with their student. And then, of course, you have some of the tutoring academies, some of the educational centers where students go. But I think it's a good idea to offer both for sure. But if you keep it online, then you will open it up to far more clients. All right, I think we're done. I just wanted to make sure I had answered all of the grant questions. I hope to see you in the course over the next 3 days. It's less than $300 for you to finally get the support and just get the direction that you need. Time is money. I say this all the time. Time is money. Time is money. And a lot of you have spent a lot of time applying for the wrong grant or getting rejection letters and not knowing what to do. Like, do you know what to do if you get a rejection letter? Let me know in the chat before I end up. If you get a grant rejection letter, excuse me, do you know what to do? That's one of the lessons in the course, by the way. What to do if you get a grant rejection letter? What do you do? Let's see if anybody knows what to do. No, no, no. You don't know what to do? Let me tell you what you do. And this is my last little nugget. If you get a grant rejection letter, you always, always, always contact the foundation and meet with them and find out why they rejected your grant application. Always find out why. Always. Because whatever they tell you, you're going to use it for the next grant application. Whatever the reason was that they tell you they rejected it, you're going to use that information to improve that grant application so that when you apply the next time, you're not going to give them a no because you've met with them, you know exactly what the issues were, you're going to fix them so that when you apply again, you will have addressed those issues. All right? Everybody got that? And please don't be afraid. It's a no. It's not a death sentence. It's a no. Okay, you didn't get the grant. Use it. Use the fact that you didn't get the grant. Find out why you didn't get it. Meet with them. Send them an email. Contact them. And especially if it is a community foundation, they will meet with you and tell you why. Use the information so that when you apply the next time, you will present a better and stronger application. But remember what I said. What is the one thing that I talked about that I said, if you take nothing else away from this webinar, remember this. Do you remember what I said? Let me know in the chat if you remember what I said. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, what is it that you need to know? Let me know who remembers what I said. Put into the chat if you remember what I said. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, your success is on the other side of your fear. That's true too. But in terms of writing the application, what are you going to do? Let me know if you know what to do. And then I will end. I'm glad you listened to me. Yes, you're going to use Grammarly. But what is the one most important thing? The most important thing. You're going to meet with the foundation first. You're going to meet with the foundation first. So make sure you look through the replay when you get it. All right. I want to thank you all for hopping on. I appreciate it. I hope to see you in the course. I hope you allow me to help you place yourself in a better position. Keep in mind, we provide the buy now, pay later. The 4-month same as cash is $75 a month, people. Like, you've got to be able to invest a little bit, just a little bit into what you're trying to accomplish. All right. So I want to thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals. and founder of LaPav Consulting. I want to thank you. Whatever you do, you need to keep moving. Keep moving forward. Don't be discouraged. There are people waiting on your skills. You are waiting on you. Like, you can get this done. There's grant money available free to you that you do not have to pay back. All right? So whatever you do, don't be discouraged. Keep moving forward. And what did I ask you to do at the beginning? Share this information. Don't keep it to yourself. Right? We're in this together, together, together. We're in this together. There's money to be won. All right? So I want to look forward to some testimonials from you. So I'm waiting for you in this course to help you. All right? Webster, I will see you in the Facebook group. Remember, I'm going to ask you to provide a synopsis of your organization. I'm going to give you some direct links that will help you immediately. All right. Thank you, everybody, again, for hopping on. I appreciate your just showing up, right? Just keep showing up. Keep showing up for yourself. Just keep showing up. And thank you so much. All right. You have a safe and a blessed evening, and a safe and a blessed weekend. And keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.